Now for the guided practice for spheres and hemispheres. So remember that your formula for volume for a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed, and your formula for surface area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. And for a hemisphere, your volume gets divided by 2. For your total surface area for a hemisphere is 3 pi r squared. So we need our radius for these, and our radius here is 1. So 4/3 pi 1 cubed and you get 4/3 pi meters cubed. And then surface area, 4 times pi times your radius of 1 squared. And that gets you 4 pi meters squared. Then we need our volume for a hemisphere. So 4/3 pi times our radius, which is 11, cubed divided by 2. And we get 2,662 thirds pi inches squared. And then we need our total surface area for a hemisphere. So 3 times pi times our radius, which is 11, squared. And you get 363 pi inches squared. Now I did mess up on my units up here for volume. That should have been cubed. So total surface area 363 pi inches squared. The next one, the radius of a sphere with a volume of 288 pi centimeters squared. So we need to take and set 288 pi equal to the volume to find our radius. So 288 pi equals 4/3 pi r cubed. So we're going to take and multiply by 3/4 on both sides. And that gets us 216 pi equaling pi r cubed. Okay, and the pi's cancel out, so we've got 216 equaling r cubed. Okay, and then we're going to take the cube root, not the square root, the cube root. And that gets us 6 equaling r. So our radius is 6 centimeters. And then we need to find our total surface area. So 4 times pi times 6 squared equals 144 pi centimeters squared. Number 4, we need to find our radius first because we have our diameter. So 16 divided by 2 is 8, and that is our radius. So we're going to have 4/3 pi times 8 cubed. And that equals 2,043 over 3 pi yards squared. Yards cubed, sorry, it's volume. And then total surface area for the sphere, 4 pi 8 squared, which is 256 pi yards squared. And number 5, we know the area of the great circle is 49 pi centimeters squared. So we need to take and find our radius from that. So we know the formula for area is pi r squared. So that equals 49 pi. Pi's cancel out, so r squared equals 49. Take the square root of both sides, so r is 7. So then we can plug that in for our volume. So 4/3 times pi times 7 cubed equals 196 thirds pi centimeters cubed. And then our total surface area for pi 7 squared equals 196 pi centimeters squared. Okay, sorry, on the volume, I got the wrong answer for the numerator. Instead of 196, it should be 1,372. Next up, we want to find the total surface area and volume of this composite figure. So we have a cylinder and 2 hemispheres, which means it's a whole sphere. So we need to find the volume or the surface area of the cylinder. Remember that the lateral surface area, because that's all we need, because we don't need the 2 circles at the end, is 2 pi times your radius times your height. So 2 times pi times our radius, which is 2, times our height, which is 5. And that gets us 20 pi. And then we need our surface area for our sphere, and it is an entire sphere because we have 2 hemispheres. So 4 pi times our radius, which is 2 squared, and that gets us 16 pi. And we're going to add those together, and that gets us 36 pi feet squared for our total surface area. Now we need to find our volume. So our volume for a cylinder, remember, is the area of your base times your height, and the area of your base is a circle, so pi r squared. So pi times your radius squared, so 2 squared times our height, which is 5. And that gets us 20 pi. And then we need volume for our sphere, which is 4/3 pi r cubed, and our radius is 2. So 4/3 pi 2 cubed, not squared, which is 16/3 pi. And when we add those together, we get 76/3 pi feet cubed. So again, make sure you know what your radius and what your height are. You may need to find that as necessary, and then write out your formula if you still need to, and plug it in.